Hi, hello, my name is Gomer Joseph. I hope you've all been having a great day so far. Welcome back to another True Crime Tuesdays video. If you are new, I welcome you. Today, I'll be discussing the solved murder of Nicole Lovell. As I was researching this heartbreaking case, I was appalled that two monsters would be driven to kill this child. Like, why they'd be willing to throw away their future and just lure this little girl and kill her is just so sickening. Like, these monsters were also Virginia Tech students, so if you're old enough to remember the Virginia Tech massacre at the school like in 2007, then it's just eerie to hear about two more killers who were students there. And not only that, but it's a reminder to be very careful when it comes to social media. Here we go. Nicole Lovell was born on May 3rd, 2002 in Radford, Virginia. She was born to parents Tammy Bell Weeks and David Lovell. When she was born, she did have a damaged liver, which, needed a transplant, and she was able to get this transplant as an infant. Nicole does have siblings. She had a brother named Blaine, a brother named Anthony, and a sister named Mackenzie. Nicole was someone who loved music. People have said that she had a passion for it and was basically singing all the time. She had a lot of family, loved posting and going on social media, and was known to be on her phone so many times. She loved pandas and would stay in bed with her mom even when she was 13, and she was also known as someone who was smiling a lot. Unfortunately, she would be bullied for the scars she received from the procedure that she had when she was a baby, and which is so stupid to me as to give someone a tough time for something as small as a scar because they had a medical condition. To make matters even worse, Nicole was posting things on social media about her depression, which her parents didn't know about and didn't really have a great relationship with her dad, David, who seemed to have been getting in trouble with the law countless times. And Nicole really just wanted her father to be in her life, but he just wasn't there for her like that. On January 27th, 2016, Nicole was 13 and in the 7th grade at the time. Tammy, Nicole's mom, was checking on her daughter that night since Nicole would usually stay in bed with her mom. But when she approached the door, Tammy realized that there was a nightstand on the other side of the door in Nicole's room, so Tammy had to push it open. Tammy would face a parent's worst nightmare, finding out that Nicole was nowhere to be found. What happened was that Nicole climbed out of her bedroom window with her phone and her favorite blanket, which isn't a surprise since Nicole was always on her phone. Tammy and others would try messaging and calling Nicole, but it would go straight to voicemail. Since Tammy couldn't reach her daughter, she called the police and people in the neighborhood would try searching for Nicole. Soon enough, Tammy would be informed by the mother of Nicole's friends that Nicole stated she was going on a date, which made Tammy even more worried since she knew Nicole was always on the internet, so she believed Tammy met this quote-unquote date online. Because of the condition that Nicole had, she still needed medication basically to survive, which gave Nicole's family even more stress about the situation, not knowing where Nicole is and knowing that Nicole didn't bring her medication with her, and her family would make videos pleading for Nicole's safe return. As police were investigating, they discovered that Nicole was using an app named Kick, and I do remember how big it was when it first came out. Like, I never used it personally. I never really had any desire to use it at all, really, but it was just a place where people can just chat and connect with their friends or just random people anonymously. When Tammy discovered Nicole had the app, she made her uninstall it, yet Nicole would reinstall the app on her phone. Eventually, it was discovered that Nicole connected with someone who had the username Dr_Tombstone, which gave investigators reason to worry. What's worse is that Nicole knew that this person she was connecting with was 18 years old. As they were looking into this guy through an IP address, investigators discovered his name was David Eisenhower, an 18-year-old freshman engineering student at Virginia Tech. She told her friends, who showed some concern because they knew a random 18-year-old shouldn't be connecting with a child. Her friends knew that wasn't right, but sadly, Nicole wouldn't take it seriously. David Eisenhower was known to be a high school track star. He was even showed on the local news, and people have described him as someone who was intelligent, charismatic, and basically the last person anyone would see as a criminal. Police did confront Eisenhower, then arrested him in his dorm room. He would eventually admit that he convinced Nicole to sneak out of her house the night of her disappearance, and they would charge David with abduction. What makes the story even crazier is that investigators discovered that another individual was involved. Her name was Natalie Keepers, a 19-year-old Virginia Tech freshman who was also an engineering student. Keepers did struggle with depression in the past and would even self-harm. On January 30th, 2016, her loved ones would receive the heartbreaking news that Nicole's body was found dead without any clothes, but praise God, there was no evidence of assault. The cause of death was that she was stabbed to death by Eisenhower and Keepers. And of course, that's just really heartbreaking to hear because basically, unfortunately, Nicole persuaded herself to trust this individual, and in the last moments of her life, she had to suffer such a tremendous way. Police would discover that Eisenhower pretty much connected with an online friend before telling him about how he discovered that someone he was communicating with on social media was underage. And so, to what the online friend said, Eisenhower feared that she'd want to expose him. So then the internet friend of Eisenhower just told him to ignore this child. I mean, first of all, he shouldn't have been talking to a child online in the first place. Eisenhower and Keepers would eventually be charged with Nicole's murder. Eisenhower would be sentenced to 50 years, while Keepers would be sentenced to 40 years. Eisenhower and Keepers had so much potential, but they squandered it with their demonic drive to kill Nicole, who was just a baby. Nicole had her whole life ahead of her, but unfortunately fell into the trap that, she was lured in. My prayers are with Nicole's family, and it can't be easy for them to not have her in their lives. If there's a lesson to be learned, it's to be very active in your children's lives. And if you're a child watching this, please be careful who you interact with on social media. Just don't connect with anybody who's a stranger at all, especially on social media. I thank you all for taking the time in your day to watch this video. If you did like this video, please feel free to hit the like button. If you'd like to go ahead and share your thoughts on this case, please feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section. If you'd like to see more videos from me, please feel free to subscribe and click the bell to be notified about the next video. If you'd like me to cover a certain true crime case, please let me know. I'll see y'all next time for True Crime Tuesdays. I'll talk to y'all later.